amazing show. First and foremost, happy Black History Month to you guys. I'm joined by my amazing co-hosts, Mary Dorset.
Hey.
And today in the studio, we have a special guest. His name is
Edwin Muhammad.
Yourself? Edwin Muhammad is here, guys, and he is the creator of Brainwash Media. So we'll be talking to him a little bit more about that.
Yay.
Miriam?
Welcome to the show, Edwin. Thanks for taking the time to come down here. We're getting a watch party started
Yes.
over there in the corner. Yes, perfect. So you and I met thanks to another fantastic leader in our community, LaSalle.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember where we met?
I don't. I don't.
You at the party he was having at the.
Yes, I remember.
And you
now.
were making the videos.
Yes,
that was so fun.
We was actually filming yeah, that's right. We were filming the event and highlighting the different key people, and then you was one of them.
That was like really one of the funnest things that I ever did. You and your team.
Well,
I'm so nice.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. I mean, we like to keep things real, just not trying to make it stuffy, not trying to make it to the point where it's so quote unquote professional, where it's uncomfortable, but we just like to keep it professional and fun. Yeah. And so that's the atmosphere that we keep, and that's how we do.
Okay, so give us the 60-second pitch or whatnot. Brainwash Media. What is it? What do we do?
Okay. Brainwash Media is a innovation company and most of an agency that's designed to create solutions for problems that we all face in society. Mm-hmm. And what I mean by that is that there's a food desert issue. There's an issue dealing with youth and how there's a disconnect between youth and them learning efficiently to be prepared for life and have a real career path.
Totally.
And just those two as an example. And what we do is we create a solution for that. And we do that by developing a business, and we also develop projects and campaigns and collaborate with others. So primarily we develop a business, and that business is structured and developed to create that solution, provide that solution. And it's a business, a for-profit business, so that way it's sustainable. So as a for-profit business, we're able to solely focus on really providing that level of change while still driving revenue in.
I had no idea that's what you did. I thought you were a media company that did movies and videos and content creation. You are changing the world. Okay.
Interesting that you say that, because a lot of people know me from different facets, and based on when you met me, you'll see that there's different, it'd be like, okay, well, I thought he was into fashion. Oh, well, I thought he was an artist. Oh, well, I thought he was, a socialite on the scene. Oh, I thought he had a video production and company and production studio. I have all of those things.
Yeah.
And those things are just like extensions of me, of who I am overall as an individual.
Yeah.
And so, with the video production company, and basically, so I do have, it's called Turnkey Studios, and they provide a solution as well. As a matter of fact, right now we have structured a couple different things where we're creating solutions for businesses, an easy way for them to develop content at scale.
Nice.
Quality content, video storytelling at scale, because it's needed right now. And every company right now, every brand right now needs to, find some sort of a way to pretty much market themselves in a more efficient way to be sustainable, especially during this pandemic.
Yeah. Content is queen.
Queen. I like that.
That's
right. Caught that one right there.
That's written on my mirror at home. Listen, what is the platform right now? Where should you be?
You talking about in regards to a business, where a business should be, or?
Yeah, for content.
Video/audio.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
Video engages people. People right now need a new means and a way to just stay engaged, connected, and entertained. Video provides that. People to be stimulated and also be entertained, but more so being stimulated, are more so into the voice realm. So that's where you get all of your audio, your podcasts, to where you have also a lot of your self-help, mental fitness development, and all these different types of things. All that mental wellness and well-being primarily is on podcasts. However, there are videos as well. But then when it comes to primarily entertainment and engaging and connecting, you have a lot more of that with video. So a combination of both is extremely important.
Over the pandemic, I did audio only dating. Have you heard of this?
Audio only dating?
Yes.
No.
So
that's
basically you set up your profile using voice notes, right?
Okay.
You ask the questions, it's all your voice. Then they match you with your people. You listen to the profiles of them, and then you exchange only voice notes with them. And recently, I just found out about this new thing about voice data. Have you heard of it? They're you think you have your data on your phone with just what you're writing and stuff, but then the voice data that is being collected is the new major mining gold pot, because it can tell you so much about a person. Even, sound is so important.
Right.
It can detect. They're saying that voice will be the new early detection of diseases. Yeah.
There's truth to that. There's absolute truth to that. No question about it. Voice can tell a lot about an individual. It's like, it's interesting that you said about the dating thing. When you're communicating with someone, by text, everybody like to text nowadays. Nothing wrong with that, but texting can only take you so far, because you can't feel as much as you need to feel. You can't get tone. You can't get, you can't feel the vibrations. You can't tell the level of energy that's being emphasized in certain words. I don't care how much of a large text you put, everything all caps, it still doesn't give the same effect.
Yeah.
You can't tell the subtleties. So all of those things come in voice. And when you're communicating, and you even learn how to communicate even better, you know how to find those subtleties. You understand how to manipulate or work with, and also understand other people better, simply by the tones that they're using.
I agree. I think that's why a lot of people out there, they say that texting, for example, can like ruin a relationship before it even started, because you don't really get a lot of times the gist of what someone's saying. It can be misconstrued so easily. And I think that's why some people still like talking on the phone, for example. Like, I know that I don't prefer to talk on the phone, but I like to talk on the phone every once in a while, just to make sure, like, so-and-so is doing okay, like, see what else is new.
Yeah.
But yeah, I completely agree with you with the text.
Yeah. So communication is key, and finding the right way to communicate. Like, to your question where you ask where everyone should be right now, is number one, if I could backtrack this a little bit, before putting anything out there, identify who and what you are, and learn how to put a story together and share your story. And you're going to change, so your story is never going to stay the same. This is what makes it interesting. And you have to now share your journey. So identify where you're going and what you want to do, and then start. And it's going to change. It probably won't be the same pathway that you started off with. However, you would be able to take people on a journey and show them your unique path. And so, as I share with a lot of people, even companies and brands, people are brands as well. And everything starts from an individual, and that individual is the unique driving force behind everything else that spawns from that point. They have an idea and they create a chair. It came from an idea for a particular reason. So that has a story behind it. So sharing your story is extremely important, which is why conveying that story through unique ways on social media, on any digital platform, as well as physical engagement, and having people to experience that brand, whether it's just you or a company or service, it's extremely, extremely important. And so back to what we mentioned earlier, video and voice is key right now.
Yeah.
So what exactly is your story? Like, what inspired you to start Brainwash Media, for example?
Look at me, I done opened up a can of worms. All right.
It could be brief. We're just curious.
No, well, actually, it's because of a lot of the lack that I've seen and experiences that I personally had. And so Brainwash Media have a number of companies under it that it produced. And one of the companies is a company that targets youth, and helping youth to learn how to turn their skills into a career, primarily teens. The teenagers, adolescents, are such at a sensitive stage in life. They're not cute and young like they used to be. Everybody loved them, they're adorable. They're much older right now, and they're trying to figure things out, figure out where they fit in life. They're trying to figure out their friends, and they're trying to figure out how to balance all these hormones that they're having. That's the stage that they need every adult the most, especially their parents.
Yeah.
And so what tends to happen is that because they have their own ideas at that stage, they're typically, it's easy to just walk away and just let the child be like, okay, let them learn and make that mistake, and that'd be that. You do have to let them learn. You do have to let them explore, but at the same time, you have to be there and build up a strong bonding relationship with them. Now, in accordance with that, they have to begin to learn what life is really about. This is where the solution that one of the solutions that Brainwash Media came up with is called Envision, and Envision stands for interactive vision. And I'm gonna explain why, the purpose of this, and this will give you an idea as to how I came up and why I do what I do. And so what we do is we connect youth directly with experts in the industry, and I mean by experts, successful entrepreneurs, and what they do is work on projects together. And when they work on projects together and in the field that they're interested in. So whether that child loves dancing, writing, photography, video, singing, whatever it may be, no matter what it is, we're able to find experts and we pair them up, and they begin to work on projects together, and they get a chance to learn exactly the necessary ethics, the work ethics, the processes and the steps. And now during that process, we always infuse what they learn in school. So their academia is actually is infused into that. So now it makes sense. Now they're learning why English is important. They're learning why science is important, math is important in a practical application.
Totally.
Doing something that they truly enjoy doing. And so we've seen a lot of transformation that way. The reason for that is, the reason for me actually coming up with, say, Envision is when I came up younger, I started, I had a different path where I started my own business when I was 14, my first business, and kept going from that point. I'm an artist, and I see things differently. I came up in a special arts program from the 3rd grade, and I've seen a lot of people, and I graduated, and I've seen a lot of friends and peers struggle through and not be able to be successful with their talents and skills because they didn't have the guidance that they needed. And even though I didn't have all the guidance that I needed as well, because it's a unique pathway, I was, I'm built a little different,
You saw the vision.
And I seen a vision of what I wanted to do. But coming up, I seen so much loss and so much that was gone, meaning that a lot of talent, a lot of people lost their lives, creative people that you never imagined seeing. And so during that process, a desire, was brewing up in me and growing up in me to be able to provide some sort of a platform for creative youth at some point to be able to get a better guidance, to learn how to use their skills and their talent to become more beneficial and take more control of their career path.
Have you met Carlos Vasquez from Miami EdTech yet?
I haven't, no.
Oh my God, I can't believe I want to introduce you to him. I can't believe you haven't met him around at the Cambridge Innovation Center at the CIC. Because he's always there and you're always there.
Wow. Wow. Well, we have to do that.
I would love to introduce you to him. Have you thought about running for office?
No, I haven't thought about that.
Well, you should. Or maybe also, I just found out recently that you can just be appointed to be the superintendent of Miami-Dade County. That is an appointed position.
Interesting.
It is interesting, considering the year we've had.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
we have 1 minute.
I'm not against that. However, I'm very active in the in the whole activism space as far as being able to provide levels of justice and so forth. That's part of my background as well. I've been doing community work since 17. Heavily working in many different facets. And so working and providing and helping the community is something that I'm extremely passionate about, and which is one of the reasons why we create solutions for problems with Brainwash Media.
Well, we are lucky to have you here in Miami. That's for sure. I
appreciate that.
How can people get in touch with you?
The best way right now, because I keep it really quiet, and I've been quiet for a long time, but it's about to make some noise now.
Okay.
Because I've been keeping my head down, and we got a lot we're getting ready to launch. So you can find me on LinkedIn, Edwin Muhammad, or you can go to edwinmuhammad.com and it'll connect you right to my LinkedIn at this point. And then I have a lot of surprises getting ready to happen coming spring.
Well, we're going to have you back to talk about that. We like
Let's do
surprises here and special announcements and exclusives.
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming down here.
You're very welcome.
Thank
and
you.
for all the work that you're doing. Appreciate you.
Thank
Excited
you.
to keep in touch and learn more. Now we are going to be chatting with a very special guest. I have a funny story how we met as well, and I'm excited to introduce Justin to Marlon Hill, a friend to Miami Community News. You've seen him on the show before. He's a community leader, and some people just call him Esquire.
Some people just call me Esquire. That's correct.
Yeah, and one of the things that we also have in common is you're also an artist.
I'm an artist everyone is an artist.
I agree.
Irrespective of your profession, because artists are essential to life, period.
And 100%.
And essential to our economy. So we all have a little artist in each of our souls.
I agree. Yeah. Once you switch that in your mindset, I think it's like a freedom.
Whether you're a lawyer, whether you're a teacher, whether you're an engineer, whether you are a digital connector, everyone has a way of creatively using innovation and using their inner imagination as an artist, right? So even as a lawyer, you have to think creatively as to how to solve problems. Even as a lawyer, you have to think about how people connect to each other in life and express themselves. And that's all art is about, expression and understanding expression.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
As a lawyer, I always find it so interesting, the language of the law and the complexity of it and how it is a barrier of entry to so many people. Do you have any comments on that?
I think I do agree with you, Mary. I think that people feel that the law is something that is inaccessible, when in fact, when you live in a state like ours, the state of Florida, where it's a sunshine state, we have access to all information, right? So you don't have to be a journalist, Justin, to be able to access the information. You can find any county commission meeting, any city commission meeting, any information that you want about your government that you pay for. You should be able to access that information. And you don't have to be a rocket scientist or a lawyer to find out that information. But people feel that the law is inaccessible. And I do believe that we, as citizens and persons that are part of a community, we owe it to each other to share the type of information that's necessary for us to conduct our businesses, to be involved with our passion projects, because the law impacts every layer of our life. And if it's inaccessible to some, that's where the inequities come from, right? Even with COVID-19, right? So not everyone can find out when to get your vaccination or to when to sign up online. But does everyone know exactly who is entitled to a vaccination, right? Can they get that information? Where do they go for that? That's where the inequities comes from. And the law should not be an obstacle. It should be opening up doors for people to make their lives easier.
Yeah. And written in simple language. I looked into the other day how to form an exploratory committee when you want to run for office.
Right.
And
why would you do that?
Because I plan to run for office. And so, and someone finally told me, because I've been wondering, like, well, how do I, get started in this? And one of the things that I was told recently was you form an exploratory committee because then you can start raising money, right? So I went and I go, okay, how do and it takes me to the government website. Do you know what it says there? It says when it was all written in the male perspective. Literally, the language of the website was saying,
the pronouns were skewed, huh?
I was like, there are some skewed pronoun issues on this. I couldn't even get through it because I was just so upset with how they don't even speak to. It shows how
So
the
it wasn't
thought
she,
process.
her, they, huh?
Oh no, it was all just he. When a man decides to run for office, this is what he does. I'm like, did I just transport back to like 1600?
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Well, listen, I don't think that you need an exploratory committee to decide that you're going to make an impact on your committee, right? You need to just call the folks together over for a COVID distance dinner. You need to let them know exactly what your vision is, what you want to do, the issues you want to impact, and start raising your money. and then going, in terms of letting them know that you're going to open an account and go for it.
Yeah.
We live in such a dynamic, multicultural community. Miami Community Newspapers has been covering our various neighborhoods, right? We have 34 cities, and 2.8 million people in Miami-Dade County. When I decided to run for office last year, just finished the campaign for the county commission. First time that I was running, but you don't need to be in elected office to have an impact in your community, right? I mean, you can be appointed to a board, you can serve with a nonprofit, you can volunteer with different types of organizations, and in the event that you feel that your next step is to run for office, then you run at that particular time, right? You don't have to give any rhyme or reason or excuse to anyone to do that. And I firmly believe that you don't need to have an elected office title or an acronym after your name in order to have an impact in your community, right? And you don't need to have a degree from a law school or higher education in order to have an impact on your community. If you want to have an impact on your community, you can organize your A team to activate, advocate, and agitate. And that's what anyone can develop an A team on an issue that they care about in the community. So that's what I did, and it was very competitive. We came up short a couple hundred votes. And even when you lose in life, it's a win.
Agree.
Right? You just have to keep on moving, and that's what I did to continue to educate folks in the election season that came after in November. And now I continue to practice law, and I'm going to be turning the page soon to start with a new law firm. And you guys are speaking with me during my transition week by coincidence. So Race to the Top is almost breaking the news.
Yeah.
There'll be some TV station that walks in here in a bit.
Okay, so I'm a little actually concerned with this new job announcement because I feel like it might infringe on my Clubhouse entertainment hours.
Right.
Because I join your rooms. Is this going to just derail the times that you were speaking on Clubhouse, this new job?
I don't speak on Clubhouse all the time. And
That's
Clubhouse, true. Like any other social media platform, Justin, you should use it with moderation.
I don't have it.
Okay. So
I still don't
unlike some co-founders and founders in the world that have the independence of being their own boss ladies, they may have that kind of time. But I think that, Clubhouse is a platform like any other communications platform that we should use it to elevate ourselves, to learn, to share, and to also to connect with the people that you need that supports your business ventures.
Yeah. And so every week you will continue running the 7:00 Wednesday Miami Connect room.
Well, I host 2 rooms on Clubhouse. Unfortunately, those with the Androids can't join yet. We got to change that. That's not inclusive.
Yeah.
And not accessible, right? So we got to change that. So every Monday I have the Urban Entrepreneur Room, Monday nights at 8 p.m. where we speak with entrepreneurs and artists about getting their business houses in order. So that's tonight. And then Wednesdays we have on 7 p.m. We connect with folks in Miami and South Florida about sharing political trends, cultural trends, business opportunities, just kind of checking in with each other. Because in Miami, everyone lives in their little bubble until there's a problem. We need to kind of dispel that.
I agree.
I'm going to shift away from Clubhouse for a second. Don't get upset.
No, please.
But I really want to know, and I think a lot of people who aren't necessarily they are interested in making a change in their community, but they don't know where to start, for example. Like young people, let's say that they want to make a change, but they don't know where to start. Yeah. What is advice that you would give to them?
That's a brilliant question. We are here on the first day of Black History Month, and we have a lot of lessons that we can learn from our national history and local history about that. It's important for every young person to know, where are you growing up? What is the community? You need to understand the history of where you grew up. Is it South Miami? Is it Florida City? Is it Aventura? Is it Palmetto Bay? Is it Hialeah? Every community has a history. And if you don't know the history of where you live when you're going to school, you can't really know exactly how to get involved, right? It's very important that you understand that. If you are registered to vote and you have your voter registration card, start with your voter registration card. Who are my elected officials on the school board level, state house, state senator, your congressmen and senators, and you need to call and introduce yourself and say, my name is Marlon Hill. I'm one of your constituents. I live in XY neighborhood. My zip code is XYZ. I would love to get involved with environmental issues. I would love to get involved with small business issues. Do you have any opportunities for me to volunteer or to intern? Do you have any events coming up that I can be helpful with? And if the elected official does not call you back or send you back a note or delegate a staff person to communicate with you, then that elected official is not doing his or her job. Right? So that's a good place to start. Pay attention to the nonprofit organizations that are doing great work in your community. Every nonprofit CEO and board chair is looking for passionate, engaged volunteers. Call them up, volunteer, and also contribute to the organization. Write a check. It doesn't matter if it's $1 or if it's $1,000. Put some skin in the game to support people doing good work in your community.
Yeah, I sometimes on my dates, actually, sorry to take it back there again, but I'll ask a guy, so what do you want to do, like in 5-10 years, whatever, you want to see if they have a plan. And sometimes they'll be like, well, I want to be a philanthropist. And I'm like, get started now. Like, what do you
don't need millions of dollars to be a philanthropist.
Yeah, you can do it.
You can call the Miami Foundation right now and open up a donor advice fund. My wife Carla and I, we have a small fund there for breast cancer awareness and organ donation. It doesn't take millions of dollars.
Beautiful.
And if you want to do something that has an impact, you can do that through an organization like the Miami Foundation. So when you have entrepreneurs like myself and Edwin, we are small businesses. We can make an impact in our own professional lanes. You have the power to do that. This Black History Month, recognize your superpowers and put it to good use.
Woo! What's your superpower?
My superpower is magnifying the best in young people.
Oh my God. Okay. What's yours?
Ooh, putting me on the spot. I think mine is making connections.
Okay. Mine is seeing the greatness in others and speaking it into existence.
Ooh,
So kind of like yours.
that's good.
Absolutely. Edwin, what's your superpower, man?
Yeah, Edwin. What's y'all's
Solutions.
Attraction.
Attraction.
Very nice.
I'm going to ask Grant Miller what his superpower is. I mean,
Oh, yes, Grant Miller, we want to know, what is your superpower?
do we really want to know?
We do. I mean, I do. I think that would be a great question. Javier, what's your superpower? Friendliness. I love that. Javier is part of the team here. He's one of the youth interns out of the Alameda County program through the internship program. It's fantastic. So, Marlon, what can people reach out to you for?
Any of the viewers want to reach out to me, my cell number is 305-244-4456 or marlon@marlonhill.com. Let's connect and put your superpowers to good use.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, he actually does call you back and email you back, because that's how I got him on the show today. Just reached out. And he was
That's
there.
it. That's that easy.
Thank you so much for all that you're doing. It's been a pleasure and wonderful to meet you. And actually, we have to thank Yvette Harris, because I wouldn't have met you without her, because she hosted the after party on Clubhouse and you came in to say hi to her. And that was how we met.
That is awesome. So I look forward to seeing you out in those streets, not only on Clubhouse, as you've put together your Exploratory committee.
Thank you so much for the well wishes, and all of you for tuning in today to Race to the Top. Happy Black History Month. Thank you, Miami Community News. Go out and have a great week. Oh, and we're back Monday, 2 p.m.
2
next
p.m.
week. Yeah, that's very important.